Hello, this is Leland with another Learning with Leland mini lesson. Today I'm talking about a big topic in a short amount of time, which is why there's an article below if you want to learn more. But today we're talking about fixed indexed insurance plans. Fixed indexed insurance plans could be an annuity, could be a life insurance contract. This is where all the money is going. People are really in love with this plan and they're buying like crazy. You need to know a couple things before you go buy this plan, or if you have bought this plan, this is a good video to watch. These plans basically peg the performance of the contract to a market, a broad market index, such as the S&P 500, so that when the S&P 500 goes up, you can go up. When the S&P 500 goes down, you stay level during what's called a segment, or just a period of time, typically 1 year or 2 years. If the S&P 500 goes up 10%, you can get some or all of the up. If it goes down and crashes during that segment or period, then you stay level, all right? Now, when you buy these plans, there's something called an illustration, which means there's guaranteed values on the left that look kind of boring. There are non-guaranteed values on the right that look amazing based off your segment or your index's performance. And it's going to be, if it's the S&P 500, they'll look back the last 10, 20 years and show this is based off historical data of the broad market index, which could be the S&P or could be an index that the insurance company created. This is how they're calculating your market performance. And you couldn't have more than one index in the same plan. But let's just take the S&P 500. That broad market index goes up, you go up. They look back over the last 20, 30 years and show non-guaranteed values in what's called an illustration. Guarantees on the left, non-guarantees on the right. Now, here's where things get a little confusing. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of advisors don't know this. The public definitely doesn't know this in general, is that your index performance is based off some other variables. You may have a cap, which means, let's just say your cap is 9%. So if the index goes up 10%, well, your cap is 9%, you'll get a 9% credit. Or you have a spread, let's say your spread is 2%. So if the index goes up 10%, well, they're crediting you 8%. That's going to be how much the index performed minus the spread. So 10 minus 2% spread means you're crediting 8%. Or you have something called participation, which let's say your participation is 200%, the market goes up 10%, well, your participation is 200%, you're getting a 20% credit towards your account, okay? Your illustration is taking the cap, the spread, and the participation and your index, looking back over 10, 20, 30 years, and they're calculating non-guaranteed values, okay? New sales have amazing caps and spreads and participations to make your non-guaranteed values look incredible. But what you need to know is that during your contract, you have that segment or that period they're using to calculate how much is getting credited. And every time, every year or a couple years, it's going to have a renewal, okay? And that's where things aren't being illustrated in your non-guaranteed values, is that you likely have a reduced cap or spread or participation at renewal that is not the same at point of sale. So in other words, and this is not true for all insurance companies, but a lot of insurance companies, I could buy a product and pick an index and then have a renewal that's going to be drastically lower than new sales can have a participation of 300, 400%, whereas my renewal on the same product, the same index, is 60%. And this makes a big difference in the illustration. So in other words, new sales money could have a participation of 300% on the illustration, but my renewal after my 1 year or 2 years has a new participation of 60%. And that plays in big to the numbers over time. Okay, so if you bought this plan or if you're looking at buying this plan, maybe the question to ask is, hey, can you show me what the renewals are on the caps, the spreads, and the participation? And is new money, new business, getting a different cap spread and participation on the index than the old money, the old clients, the people who already bought the plan. And if those are different, that should be cause for pause, okay? Now, you may say, hey, this sounds like a terrible plan, terrible product, Leland. Well, there is value. These plans do have value in a few different ways. You do have the protection of the downside of the market. The other thing that most of these plans offer is a guaranteed income rider, just like a pension, just like Social Security. You have money for life. These plans, when you turn on the rider, it shows guaranteed income for the rest of your life. So even if the market crashes, these plans can show you on the guaranteed values after 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever number of years until you want to turn on income. This will show you what the guaranteed income is for the rest of your life. And that does have value, especially as you head towards retirement. If we're having a large market correction like 2008, well, this could be a nice hedge against that. But just be very careful with non-guaranteed values that look incredible, knowing the renewals could be drastically different, especially if the company is offering different cap spreads and participation for new money as they are for old money. I know that was a big topic in a short amount of time. That's why there's a link below for the article to go more into detail. It was wonderful serving you on this Learning with Leland. I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye-bye for now.